Max Verstappen won his 14th race this season, which broke a record that was held before by Michael Schumacher and Sebastian Vettel. But this amazing win got overshadowed by what happened with Sky Sports when Ted Kravitz said mean things about the Dutch driver. Even though Sky Sports likes Hamilton more, which isn't really a bad thing, when an expert like Kravitz makes public comments about the 2021 championship, it's the last thing the sport needs right now. So Red Bull's choice to not answer Sky F1's questions makes sense, and Verstappen has decided that he's had enough. Max has had a really awesome season winning races even when he started from 14th place, 10th place, and 7th place. On top of that, he's been able to take advantage when Ferrari messes up on Sundays. Even though the Ferrari team usually does well on Sundays and usually gets pole position, this is why lots of people have praised the Dutch driver for never giving up and being able to drive the car even with so many new parts being added to it. We've seen Perez having trouble with the 2022 upgrades, especially after the first few races this season. It could be that Red Bull decided to build the car more for Verstappen. Or it could be that the Dutch driver can drive literally anything that's given to him. But the amazing driving that we are seeing from Verstappen has been pushed into the dark shadows by Sky Sports, more specifically Ted Kravitz. Ted works as an F1 expert on Sky Sports, and if you're watching F1 through streaming, you'll probably notice the mean and nasty comments that the commentators are making towards Red Bull. They had a great time talking bad about Red Bull's money problems. Even though it seems like the food and sick pay money aren't really important to the championship fight, and the comments were said for no good reason. But Red Bull was punished for what they did, and that's all been fixed. But Kravitz's comments about the 2021 championship ending was something that Verstappen couldn't agree with anymore, so he and his team decided to ignore Sky F1 this weekend. Kravitz was walking down the pit lane and everything started when he called Hamilton an 8-time world champion instead of a 7-time world champion. He quickly fixed his mistake but kept talking about the 2021 season ending, saying that Hamilton got cheated and that Verstappen was the guy who cheated him. On top of that, Kravitz talked about the 2022 season and said that Verstappen is winning championships under weird situations because the Suzuka Grand Prix points were given in full and not cut in half like everyone else expected, but there is a rule book that the FIA follows, and according to Kravitz, the penalty that Leclerc got was unfair. Well, the bias here is more than obvious because Leclerc himself said that he closed the door too, close on Perez, and that the penalty was totally deserved. But what can you say? Some hurts just never go away. Even though Verstappen and Red Bull were usually okay with these kinds of comments made by Sky F1, sometimes enough is enough. Verstappen was asked about the boycott and his choice to not answer questions from Sky F1 anymore during his career. He answered that it had nothing to do with this weekend, but this year it's been constant, like digging and being disrespectful, especially one particular person. At one point it's enough. He doesn't accept it. You can't live in the past, you just have to move on. Right now, social media is a very mean place, and if you're constantly being like that live on TV, you make it only worse instead of trying to make it better in the world. You keep being disrespectful to me, and at one point I'm not putting up with it anymore, so that's why he decided to stop answering. Even though this happens, people were really upset by these comments and the comments that have been made throughout the whole season. It was a team decision to boycott Sky after all. Kravitz should know better than this, and his comments are truly something that the sport doesn't need. Christian Horner talked about the team's decision to boycott Sky F1, and when talking about it, he said they were obviously disappointed with a bunch of mean comments that have been made on Sky, so they felt that this weekend they'd just take a little break, and that it wouldn't hurt Sky for them to take a break this weekend. There needs to be balance in commentary. Some of the commentary is excellent, but some of the pieces have too much drama being created. We stand together as a team. Christian Horner told everyone that Sky could get Red Bull's statements from F1 TV. And when talking about that, he said that they already had access to F1 TV, but there had not been any direct talks with Sky from any team member this weekend. On top of that, Horner said that they boycotted all of Sky's channels, not just Sky UK, but the team plans to continue with Sky's service from the next race onwards. He answered that next race, service will start again. We just wanted to make a point and say certain things just aren't okay, and as a team we stand together and we stand united as a team. Now, the question of freedom of speech will always be asked in these kind of situations. But freedom of speech is one thing, but accusing a driver of stealing the championship directly from his rival on a topic that is still very fresh and sensitive to the F1 world is another thing. Now that Max has broken so many records and now that he's a very successful person in F1, comments like this are meant to make him look bad and to make him the villain in a story that he wasn't directly involved in with his decisions. Horner talked about freedom, saying that an accusation of championships being stolen is something that they don't feel is fair commentary. That is, they don't feel it's fair or balanced in any way. Max was very upset about it, and as a team they support him fully. They are equally upset about it. As a team, they made the decision this weekend. He made the decision that they'll have a weekend off. Red Bull are easy targets sometimes. Throughout the season, we heard multiple digs from Sky Sports towards Red Bull, but not all commentators on the service are mean and disrespectful. For example, you can take Jenson Button or Nico Rosberg. These guys have driven in an F1 car not that long ago, and they are proven F1 champions. Both of them won one championship, and they know how hard it is to beat the rest of the grid with or without the fights involved. The fact that a streaming service is focused on making one particular driver look bad speaks enough for itself, and it seems like Sky just can't get over the fact that Verstappen is a two-time world champion. If Hamilton had gone into the pits when the safety car came out in Abu Dhabi, the situation would have been different. We've seen similar situations in Zandvoort and Silverstone this season, with Hamilton being both on the giving and receiving end of things. On top of that, we haven't heard Mercedes talk about the Sky F1 mean comments, even though Hamilton spoke out against the booing that came his way in Austria. He wasn't that loud when it came to Verstappen being booed in Silverstone. When Hamilton was giving his speech after the Mexican Grand Prix, all the fans started to boo him, and we saw Perez waving his finger towards them and saying that that isn't right. This makes you wonder whether or not Red Bull are the bad guys in the whole story. But the fact that they broke the money rules for the 2021 season just goes to show that they are going to be the targets for quite some time to come. And that is something that they're going to have to deal with in the upcoming time. We're still waiting for a response from Sky F1, and it seems like they are going to be a little more careful in the future when it comes to making other drivers look bad. They have to understand that Hamilton is not the king in F1 anymore, and there is a new sheriff in town. This doesn't mean that they cannot interview him, but mean comments like these ones made towards Verstappen are something that just cannot happen in the future. So, Red Bull's decision to boycott Sky F1 throughout the Mexican Grand Prix weekend has made some people raise their eyebrows. But the question remains as to whether or not this is the right way to deal with these kinds of problems. On top of that, the FIA has yet to get involved in this matter, and we're yet to see how everything will turn out. What do you think about this whole thing? Do you believe that Red Bull is right? Let us know in the comments below.